Hey guys, I'm Ashley Harrington for Red Carpet Report. We're here at FIDM at the Emmys Costume Design Nominees Reception. We're talking to some of the designers from the nominated shows. Okay, so tell me what made you get into costume design?
Well, what made me get into costume design is I needed a change. I was designing fashion for many years in New York. I'd started out at Perry Ellis and then worked at Calvin Klein, had a bunch of different contracts, everybody from Aero shirts to Levi Strauss to Harley Davidson, right? It's a big range, so I have nothing if not range. And but I started getting a little disenchanted with the fashion industry, and most of my friends were costume designers in New York. And so I went to them and said, I'm ready to make the change. And within 2 weeks, I was on a plane to North Carolina to work on the set of a film. Very shortly after that, I moved to Los Angeles. Right. And for 6 months, they've been here since 1991, and it was a long 6 months. But I just started working right away and met great people. And
you love it?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's great. It's absolutely.
So, what was your first reaction when you started designing for Castle? Like, were you so excited, or was there anything that you were kind of worried about?
Well, no, I wasn't really worried so much. I joined the third season, and there had been two designers previously, both of whom I know, are friends of mine, and are extremely talented people. So you're a little apprehensive of, am I going to, walking into a situation where someone is already known and the actors already know somebody. But this group of actors is so extraordinary and accessible and collaborative, and the producers are fantastic. I'm really, really fortunate. And right out of the box, I didn't really have time to think much about anything or worry, because right out of the box, we were doing this big episode about burlesque. There's a movement of vintage burlesque clubs, in New York. And so we created a burlesque club sort of themed after Cirque du Soleil. And so we had a great time. We had beautiful hair and makeup, and the costumes were fun. And then 3 episodes later, we were doing steampunk. So that's really what's great about Castle, is that there are a lot of these different worlds that we go into that take a nice boost of design that carries you out of just a contemporary setting.
Right. So is there one piece that was particularly really hard for you to bring to life?
Well, I would think probably the wedding dress behind me is a good example of that, because wedding dresses are they come with a lot of baggage. The idea of a wedding dress comes with a lot of baggage, right? Yeah. And this dress was part of this episode called Dress to Kill, which was our kind of take on The Devil Wears Prada. So there's an assistant who's killed at Vogue magazine. Frances Fisher plays the editor. And at one point she asked Beckett, played by Stana Katic, to put on a dress. And this is in the middle of a season where Beckett and Castle have decided to get married. And they are talking about, when are we going to do it? When are we going to set the date? Where are we going to do it? How many people are coming to it? All of these kind of questions that any couple will go through. And there's a lot of sort of murky areas, and then she puts on this wedding dress and comes out, and this is mid-season, episode 12 or 13, and it all suddenly comes home to her that, oh my God, I'm getting married. So it was a wonderful scene to play for her, I think.
So do you ever have people asking if they can get a dress like this, or anything like that?
Sure, absolutely. I have a lot of followers on Twitter and on social media, and they'll ask me often about where can they get things, and that's actually why I started doing social media, was people were asking where they could get the clothes,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you tell them where they can get it and stuff?
Absolutely. Usually I'll tell them that we got it here or there, and who the brand is, where the label is. And unfortunately, so often, by the time something's aired, the stuff is long gone from the stores.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So what advice would you give someone who was wanting to get into this business?
To get into costume design?
Yeah.
Well, I think that the biggest piece of advice I could give to someone is you really better have a passion for it. This is it. It's almost like you have to have a calling to be in this business, because the hours are just too long, and it's too rough, and it's a little rocky, and you are not going to sustain the energy and the intent of something without a lot of passion for what you're doing.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, that's really great advice, and thank you so much for talking to us. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and leave me a comment letting me know what you think is the most fashionable show on TV. And if you're in downtown LA, be sure to check out the FIDM Museum.